everyone to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, look, we're back. This is Monday, October 17th. Thank you again, you guys, joining us at night. It's a pleasure entertaining you guys. But before we get started, Nate, it's been a while since we talked. I know we hung out a few weeks ago. But yeah, how you been, buddy?
Yeah, first off, real quick, everybody, if you're sitting at home in your pajama pants, go ahead and give a round of applause for that intro. I mean, what a great intro that was. I can't make anything like that.
Yeah.
It was great. Great job, Alex. How have I been doing? Good. Work is super busy right now because it's so I'm in the field of medical insurance and benefits and things like that. And if you have a job, if you're working full time, you know, this time of year might be your what they call like annual enrollment for benefits. So we are getting bombarded. It's super busy every day at work now, and I hate it. But it's okay. It makes the day go by a little faster when you're busy. So
that's
how
cool.
about yourself?
I mean, it was good. It was good. Kids play hockey, soccer Saturday, which was fun.
Let them get some aggression out and play hockey with hitting.
No, not hockey. But yeah, no, they get their hockey on, and then Kara's almost walking there. She's taking a few steps here and there, falling.
Oh, friend, my brother's friend. She loved. Yeah,
she loves your brother. I don't get it, but you know what? They both the same height, but
Me too.
David and Kara got the same height. No, but all jokes aside, but yeah, everyone that's live with us, the Patreons, again, thank you so much to all the Patreons. There's going to be a lot of updates to the Patreons, so again, bear with me. We're going to be working on some stuff for the Patreons. We're going to give you guys announcements and all that in a few upcoming weeks from now. The channel is going to be getting revamped and everything because I love upgrading stuff and making it more better for you guys for viewing and everything. So we're going to be transcending into some better way of watching. So it's going to be more like a TV, like late night TV show style for you guys. Well, other than that, everyone that's live with us, David McGuire, Patreon, thank you so much. Jay Manley, Patreon. Robert Makes the Cunt. My man Scott, JoJo Joker is in the house. We got Ralph, it's in the house. Robert Makes the Cut. Stephanie's in the house, okay? She went to see her dad. So that's pretty cool. Jerry's in the house. And of course, to let everyone know, tonight is a special night because today,
Evan's here.
special. Oh, Evan's in
What's
the
up,
house
Evan?
too. Yeah.
What's up, man?
Yeah,
Okay,
so tonight is a special night because tonight is our not annual, but every month we tackle a director filmography. We go from their beginning early works all the way up to their present time work. So we're taking on, since it's horror, Nate wanted to kill me. We went with the James Wan. We started with Saw from 2004, and we worked our way through haunted houses all the way to the Fast and the Furious cars into Aquaman in the ocean, and then we're going to end up with the Malignant 2021. It's an actual decent watch when you really sit through it because you see a lot of his style gets even it gets good. I can't wait to talk about it. I was so eager to watch it. I mean, my nerves is going crazy because I'm in my basement by myself, but it's fun. But before we do, because things came out today. I mean, this week a lot of movies came out. But before we do, you know how we do it here. Before we get to the James Wan, we're gonna start it off with our first segment with what have we been watching? And I want to know what you guys have been watching. So let's take it away.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I shot it 6 times.
What have we been watching?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. The power of Christ compels you.
I'd like to have a calm discussion on this topic. Think we can manage that?
All right, guys, so this is the segment, and this is it. This is the time. We're going to be talking about what we've been watching throughout last week. And then Nate, us, you guys, please put down what you guys watched last week. We want to know what you guys been watching. If you want to recommend us some stuff, we're here. We want to see some films, what you guys watch, and what you recommend. Last week, the biggest movie of the year, most anticipated movie for a lot of horror fans, Halloween Ends came out, baby. And you know what I'm talking about, because I saw it at home. Nate went to see it opening night. So we're going to talk a little bit about Halloween without spoiling it for a lot of people there. But Nate, other than Halloween, I know you've seen a lot of shit because you came back from Florida, from New York.
I have a list.
Yeah, so get through it, baby. Let's see, what you
I'm
got?
just gonna say, I'm not even gonna give a opinion on anything I watch. I'm just gonna tell you what I watched since I got home last week from New York. We recorded last Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
I got home Monday night. So from Tuesday of last week to Monday today, here's what I watched. I've watched Child's Play 3, Suspiria, Krampus, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, because we had to review it, and I had only watched the first one at that point. Happy Death Day, Pet Sematary, the original. Happy Death Day to You, Turistas, Dawn of the Dead, the original one. Insidious Chapter 2. I did a rewatch of that this week. Deep Red, Phenomena, Werewolf by Night, Furious 7 for this show tonight. And then at the theater, I saw Halloween Ends, and I saw Amsterdam.
Jeez, I want to see that movie. I wanted to see that one.
I liked it. I thought it was
okay.
Good. That's how many. I don't know how much that was. Someone go back and count.
That's a lot. That's a lot, bro.
Busy
That's a
man.
lot. But you know what?
Busy man.
Let me tell you what I watched. I went butt wild this week too. I watched Missing in Action with Chuck Norris 1 and 2. First time watches. I watched the Michelle Yeoh wherever she goes.
Everything,
he goes.
Everywhere, All at Once.
That one. I went way off.
Wherever she goes, he goes.
I call it the Chinese Matrix. That's
everything,
that one.
Everywhere, all the time, everywhere.
Every which way. Yeah. I saw that one for the first time. Sabotage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I saw it for the first time because I remember talking to you about it. I enjoy that movie a lot. Not memorable, I totally agree with you, but it had a really good storyline. It has a very good storyline, but I enjoyed myself. I thought it was really good. What else is this? Jurassic Park 1, Jurassic Park 2 and 3, because we're leading all the way up to the Dominion. We were trying to get to the Dominion. I watched a lot of some Star Treks, and then, of course, Halloween Ends. But yeah, so that's what I saw. And I saw a lot more than that. But I don't remember from the top of my head. But there's a lot of stuff we saw. I'm not going to front. And if you guys are, of course, subscribed to the channel, the community page or community tab, I'm going to have a lot of the photos of what I'm watching. So I'm starting to put up now watching and all that stuff. So, again, you can enjoy, put your thoughts and comments on the films that I'm watching. If it's first time, let me know what you guys think. All right, let me know what you guys watched last week. So let's hit the community
Evan,
tab.
I think Evan was the first one to say what he watched.
Okay, what my man Evan got?
So we got Candyman, the original Candyman, 1992, and The Witch today. James, I'm going to mute for the parts when you talk about Halloween End. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine.
We're not gonna do spoilers, but okay.
No. Mm-hmm.
We'll give you a thumbs up when you can unmute. Scott watched Man on Fire. Oh, on our recommendation, I believe, and he loved it.
Yeah.
Halloween Ends, Fright Night, which I think he watched the original.
Yeah,
16 Blocks, The Prowler, Night of the Living Dead, the original. James said, I saw a movie called I Saw the Devil. Oh, that movie is hardcore. I love that movie. It's hardcore. Evan also finished She-Hulk. Ralph saw a movie called I Saw Alex. It sucked.
I saw Alex. Okay.
Okay. Then he says he's kidding. As if we actually thought I Saw Alex. It sucked was a real movie. James watched Paranormal Activity. Next of Kin. Didn't like it. I also hated it. It was terrible. James watched Jurassic Park. Domestic Park Dominion. Domestic Park. It was okay, but not really needed. And Jay said that movie sounds good, Ralph.
Yeah, it does. All right, so with that said, let's go quick. We're going to go super quick because I really want to talk some James Wan here. Okay, so Halloween Ends. For you, James Ferris, please hit that mute button. For those of you that have not watched the movie, please mute because we don't want to spoil it for you guys. Nate, what was your initial reaction when you first saw the movie in the theater? All right, let everyone know.
Check this out. I seen it twice. Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Because I couldn't believe the first time I watched it. I was like, no, this is not. That's not what I watched. So, and I didn't like it. I did not like it. And I see Ralph in the chat. Here we go. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be like, and by the way, I watched Ralph's review of it. I did go watch his review. If you haven't, go to Ralph's Horror and Coffee because we promote our friends here. Go watch his review as well. But this is about to turn into another one of these when we did the Texas Chainsaw and he said it was good or not that bad. Yeah. And now he's doing the same with this movie. I saw it twice and I hated it both times. It's not even that it's a horrible film as far as horror goes. Right. The problem is it is not a Halloween movie. And I get it. People are like, oh, well, they just want to stick with the formula. And you just, you know what? If this was any other franchise, okay, and they made a Nightmare on Elm Street movie where the killer was like a guy named Glenn, or if they made a Friday the 13th movie where someone else, was like a main character and his name was Steve, and you follow Steve around for an hour and a half instead of Jason, it's not that kind of movie, right? So, it was very frustrating to watch it. There was parts where like there was some humor, but it wasn't funny. Like I didn't laugh. There's some okay kills. If I have to give positives, there's some okay kills. There's especially, well, here's the problem. And Alex, I'm sure you can agree. They all happen at the very end of the movie, like at the last 20 minutes. So you sit there for almost 2 hours, hour 50 minutes. And for an hour and 20 of it, you're just watching a trash love story that doesn't make any sense, and you're watching like just a lot of weird stuff that I don't care about. Now I went with my cousin and Patreon, of course Becca, and she was like, why are they even like hanging out, these two characters? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense. I don't like it at all. I gave it a 3. And wow. I feel like that was generous. A 3 out of 10, not 3 out of 5. 3 out of 10. And me and Rev, we bonded over the fact that blue font that they use is horrible. What is that font? It doesn't even, like where it shows the titles. And it's like showing all the, what is that? It doesn't even look like nothing about it feels or looks like a Halloween movie until the last 8 minutes. 8 minutes. All right.
Well,
that's
look,
a Halloween movie.
I'm gonna. I mean, you gave the whole synopsis there. I'm just gonna throw a little sprinkle of the Alex on top of it. The movie was a piece of shit. I'm just gonna be really. I'll be 100%, like 100%, a piece of shit waste of film. It's a waste of film. Now, Nate said everything. I mean, he said everything. My only problem with this, if this is the storyline that you really wanted to go with, it should have been introduced in Kills. Then I would have said, you know what? I'm okay with it, because by the time that kid becomes an adult, he would have been the same age as Michael. And I would have been like, you know what? That makes sense. I would have been like, that is pretty cool. It is what it is. But it's a piece of shit. It did not work. An hour and 30 minutes of a character that I never cared for. I don't understand how a teenage girl falls in love with a dude that she just met in 2 seconds. And
that's what I'm saying. They literally knew each other for like 3 days. And she's like, I'm running away with him. Yeah. Okay. And he looks like a psychopath the whole time. And he acts like a weirdo. And don't get me started. And I'm sorry to cut you off. This is pissing me off. These kids, okay? These kids, they're picking on this dude. They're in the marching band. But what kind of town is the marching band full of these little gangster delinquent kids? One of them got a mullet. 2 of them are girls, and he's getting bullied and picked on, even though he's like 22 years old at the time that this happens. It makes absolutely no sense. I just frustrating to watch this entire movie. It is.
Look, an hour 30 of waste of time. The ending is god freaking awful. Like, I don't care what anyone. You cannot tell me. Okay, you cannot put you can't put lipstick on a pig and say, hey, that's a sexy pig. It's an ugly ass pig. I mean, regardless, it is what it is. But when a town, okay, and they tie his ass to that car, and I went, no. I said, that's it. Game over for me. It is what it is. I don't want to ruin it for people as much. But look, with that said, look, I'm giving that shit a 1 out of 5. I don't care for it, but guess what? Those steel books look kind of nice, and I did pre-order them. So that's all I got to say.
Both of them? You got 2 copies?
I got 2 copies. Yeah, I like both steel books, bro. I like them. Nothing. I had to finish them. You know my OCD problem.
I don't need to. I know you have that, but listen. This is the problem. This wasn't supposed to be a trilogy. From what I remember when they were making the movie, Danny McBride, which why the hell they have him writing these movies, I don't know. But him and David Gordon Green had an idea for 2 movies, and they wanted to film them back to back. And the studio said, well, let's, Universal, Blumhouse, they're like, let's put 1 out, and if it does well, then we'll do it. But it did so well that they did this classic greedy move of let's make it 3. And you can tell it wasn't supposed to be 3, because if you put the very end of this movie on Halloween Kills, it is a good one. Well, if you didn't like Kills, that's okay. But it makes sense as far as a 1 and 2. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It takes place in the same night. Both movies are in the same night. and you have an arc, and then Laurie and him have the showdown, and it works. But you could tell they didn't have an idea, so they made up all this bull crap so they could fill up a third movie just to get to the end, which is the only thing people showed up to see, because I guarantee you nobody walked up to the ticket man and said, hey, I want to see that new Corey movie. So let me get a ticket to Halloween Ends. I guarantee you nobody said it. So It should have been 2 movies. So just watch. If you don't like Kills, sorry. But if you watch Kills and then just literally watch the last scene in this, like right after, somehow splice it in, there's a good one too. You're done. You just watch those 2.
Well, I will say this. H2O is a masterpiece now to me. I love H2O. I think it's the best.
Way better than this movie.
It's way better than this third movie. And I think it's the official stamp of the Halloween end between Laurie and Michael in my book. But okay, so
look, Rev said. Rev said, all right, let's just read a couple of
read some of the
He said, Rev said, I watched Halloween Ends again last night. Still didn't like it. Ralph says Friday the 13th Part 5 was worse. It wasn't even Jason in the whole movie. Correct. Also a terrible film. You're on to something there, Ralph. You're onto something, and you're catching my drift. Rev says, I just want to know why Michael was just hanging out in a sewer for 4 years. And then Ralph said because he would have looked weird at the mall. And then Rev says, yeah, but he could have just found an abandoned house, though. True. Corey found one. He could have found one, too. Scott says, LOL, Michael moving slow as a snail. You mean to tell me he's scurrying over to drag people in there? Ralph's trying to defend it. Oh, she was 21 already? Okay. Okay. Evan says Disney movies, they fall in love faster. True. Yeah. This is like a Disney film as far as the love story, though. Rev says my favorite part is when Michael gets his first stab and he starts shaking for 15 seconds like he's getting some power back. F you, David Gordon. You know what I thought he was doing? I thought he was just busting one right in his suit. I was like
he got an orgasm.
Yeah. I'm like, what is this, bro?
It's
this
been 4 years.
All right.
He went like this. He went.
Says, Pretty much. And he was still kind of whack after that, by the way. Ralph said he wants a Funko Pop of Michael tied to the car. Rev says Corey better be on the Steelbook. He's not. And Scott said, I could kiss Busta Rhymes after watching Halloween Ends.
I could picture.
I can't go so far. I can't join that movement.
Yeah.
The resurrection is better now. It's still not. But this was not good.
Resurrection is god awful too. I mean,
they're equally bad.
This
is not better. No, Resurrection is not better than this movie.
No. It makes the Halloween movies better. I tell you that. It
made the good ones way better.
It made the first Halloween 100 times better than what it is.
It made Halloween 2018 a million times better than what it is. And I bet there might be some people who didn't like Kills who will now say that wasn't so bad compared to this that I just had to
Kills
sit
is
through.
still. I mean, I hated Kills too.
Compare them.
I think Kills is a little bit. It's a little bit. It's a lot
better.
It's a lot. Well, the first half of the movie is
at
way
least you
better.
got Michael Myers.
That's
There's
true.
No Corey.
That's true. That's true. No Corey. But all right. So with that said, all right, let's go to the main attraction for today. Okay, no more Halloween.
The resurrection mask had eyebrows on it, and that's enough for me to give
it did have eyebrows.
He had eyebrows. That's all you need to know.
That's all you needed. Okay. With that said, let's have some fun. Let's talk about my man James Wan. All right. So let's bring up some. You want to bring up some information boxes before we go into deep dive? All right, so let's talk about it.
I took like an hour getting some of these stats and things like that. So let's show them.
That's true. You made it an hour, and I made it like 10 weeks just to put them together. All right, so with that said,
there you go.
Yes, with that said, let's talk about his box office success. My man James Wan, worldwide total between Saw 1 all the way to Malignant, $3.74 billion in the box office. The highest grossing film, of course, is Fast and the Furious 7 at $1.5 billion. I don't know why. But we know why, because everyone loves that franchise, like me and my wife.
And Paul Walker died.
That's true. That was another big selling point. The lowest grossing Death Sentence at $16.9 million. Now, interesting. It's a very interesting movie. If you guys watched it, but we'll talk about that also. 0 Academy Awards. Again, this guy is a horror director, so I did not think he was going to be up there. But he has potential to shoot a drama and make it get better. I'll say that, though. There's a lot of elements in The Conjuring that I could go, this guy could go into a little serious filmmaking here and it'll be really good. But
Yeah.
Nate, if you notice here on the box office, no horror movies, is all action.
No. Yeah. Well, his two highest was this and Aquaman, which both went over $1 billion.
Yeah.
Now they do have very distinct advantages. Obviously, Furious 7. So it is the 7th movie of an already successful franchise. And again, it was Paul Walker's last one. So, you know, I could get the appeal. And those movies always make money. And Aquaman, of course, being a DC property, well-known, you know, makes sense. His horror do well, though. Saw was one of the most financially successful movies by that it had like a $1.5 million or $2 million budget or something. And
Yeah.
So they were successful, but not to these levels. And Conjuring made money, but not like his action movies are the ones that really made a ton.
Yeah, I mean, he has the highest in terms of Fast, and then of course his lowest is another action movie in Death
Which
Sentence.
was like a low budget. I mean, you've never seen it. That was a first time watch for you, right?
Yeah, Death Sentence. Yeah.
A lot of people haven't seen it. It doesn't even have a Blu-ray release, so it's like it's one of those movies that went under the radar even when it came out. And we'll talk more about it when we get to it, but it makes sense.
Yeah, so all right, so let's get right into the Rotten Tomatoes scores. Let's find out what is the highest rating that he has done, the lowest rating, and then of course between the critics and the audience. So let's have fun with that. In terms of the Rotten Tomatoes scores, now the critics in average, it's 58% critics, audience 69%. Now I'm very shocked here between those two numbers, Nate. Let me know why. What's up?
You know, the critics, the thing is that he has a couple that are high. As you see there, Conjuring has an 86%. That's high. A Furious 7 has an 81%. Aquaman was high. The problem is that he had a couple that were really low. If you look there, critics scored Death Sentence and Dead Silence both had 20%. So when you only have 10 movies, it will bring down your average a bit. So, you know, and also he does horror, and horror is not always the most critic-friendly genre, I guess. Yeah. So it's not surprising. To me, it's more surprising the audience score, because I thought it might be a bit higher. A lot of people I know really are fans of James Wan. I'm a big fan of his movies, and like people get excited, or a lot of people I know, not everybody, but you know, like, oh, James Wan's making a new movie, I want to see that. And then to see the score 69, I thought it might be, well, honestly, I thought it might be in the 70s, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's pretty interesting between The Conjuring at 86, which it's weird because I thought Conjuring 2 would be high, but it's not. Dead Silence and the Death Sentence at 20, like you said. Now, the audience that saw 84, we all know why.
That's
when that movie came out. Yes, very surprising.
I thought Conjuring would be one for audience.
Yeah.
Over Saw. But
yep. And then, of course, the lowest rating is, of course, Dead Silence at 51. Now, 51 is not bad. It's between the 50 mark of the 100 potatoes. I mean, tomatoes.
As far as his audience score at Rotten Potatoes, he has every single one of his movies is over 50% with audiences. So that's what I mean. That I thought the average would be higher, but whatever. He made a lot of money.
Yeah. So all right. So this is the way it's gonna go, ladies and gentlemen. This is his filmography. Okay. So we got Saw 2004. We got the Dead Silence, Death Sentence, Insidious, Conjuring 1, Insidious 2, second chapter, Furious 7, Conjuring 2, then Aquaman, Malignant. Now, for those of you out there, if you guys joined us on the journey and watching all of them, great. Let us know down below what you guys thought about it and everything, because we're going to be going and give you guys our rankings, because we sat through all this and I was tortured sitting through all this stuff. But we're going to talk about it right after. So, with that said, you know how I always do. I always put together a filmography for you guys. So now this filmography is going to take place between 2004 to 2010. I had to break them up because it's 10 movies and I couldn't show all those clips at once, because then it would be like a 6-minute clip. So, with that said, let's start off with 2004, 2010. That is from, I think, Saw to Insidious. So, with that said, now the way we're going to do it now, before you used to see me and Nate there, and I felt like, you know what, let's even make it even better for you guys. I'm making it, blow it all up, and you guys watch it for yourselves, and then we'll come back and let it see, because I really don't want to see those scenes again. But with that said,
he's gonna look down.
I'm gonna look down like I'm a little scared. Anyway, with that said, have fun. Enjoy these clips. These are in black and white, like I always do. Have fun.
Hello, Dr. Gordon. I want to play a game. Your aim is to kill Adam. You have until 6 on the clock to do it.
She's here.
wear the stare of Mary Shaw. She had no children.
You kidding me?
Your brother, dude, he's dead.
I say who lives, I say who dies.
There was something in there with him. I know someone who can help.
We took tri-field and EMF readings of the whole house, wiring, alarm clocks.
I don't think bad wiring is the problem here.
I want to leave. I want to leave this house.
All right, so there you have it. All right, there was 2004, 2010 block of these James Wan movies. Now, again, we added a new graphic here. We're gonna be breaking them down, so I have a lot of the posters on the side. So, with that said, let's start off with 2004. Nate, this is the big classic hit that put James Wan on the map. Saw. What did you think of it when you first saw it, and then when the rewatch? What did you think?
You know what's funny? I'm really glad you did the block that way, because these 4 movies are really tied together really well. And I'll explain as we go through. So Saw. Yeah, I saw this came out when I was in high school. And I remember going to the theater to see it. I was 17, and I was like, Halloween. They're like, this movie, Saw. A couple people in my class were like, you got to see this movie. It's good. So we went to see it, me and some friends. Thought it was great at the time. Like, I was like, this movie's awesome. Like, it's pretty gory. Had some good jump scares. I really enjoyed it. And I would say I'm a decent fan of the franchise, really. But watching it now, I know we did it for we did a 4K review of it.
Yeah,
it still holds up to me as a really good. Yeah. It's not. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it almost feels more like a crime thriller that's just really gory. You know what I mean? Like
8mm,
because you're following. Yeah, or like any. You know what it always reminded me of, like those cop shows, like a CSI or something, because you're following the cops trying to solve or catch this killer. It's just that they show all the deaths in gory detail. You know what I mean? So it has that vibe, but more R-rated. And if you watch it, like if you're not a fan of horror, but you watch it with that kind of lens, I think it's a great gritty thriller, honestly. And if you like gore in your movies, you'll get some of that too. One of the best endings, honestly, of like, especially during that time in the mid 2000s when it came out, where people were just being like shocked at the end of the movie. So yeah, I think it still holds up really well, and I really enjoy the movie.
Yeah, dude, Saw still holds up. I mean, we it's funny with Saw, once you know the surprise, but it's awesome when you get there. And the crazy thing is, while putting together all these clips and everything, I always even for the intro, I always get all the behind the scenes footage and watch a little bit of it just to get into the mind of my man Wan. What I did not know, the guy, remember the guy that's in the room with him, the doctor?
Lee Wanell. Yeah, he wrote it.
Yeah, so he wrote it with, I didn't know that. So I didn't know that he and James Wan went to film school together. And he was like, you film, I write and direct. I mean, I write and act, because he never wanted to direct. So he got James Wan to direct.
And now he directs.
He directs.
This movie launched 2 careers. It launched James Wan, and it launched Lee Wanell. Lee Wanell as a writer, and then, of course, he later directed The Invisible Man, Upgrade, which is an awesome movie. One of the Insidious movies. So, like, if you look back, it's like, wow, 2 really talented they were from Australia. But yeah, Lee Wanell.
Yeah, no, it was cool watching the making of it. And I liked it. I thought it was really good. The movie, you're right. I mean, Danny Glover was awesome in this movie because he played a cop, like you said, the cop role. But he was good. But he was really good as a detective. And you're right. I wish they kept that style throughout all of them. That whole gritty, not noir, but like a gritty cop
thriller
horror movie. Yeah, but very thriller. I mean, they just started to spawn into that gore porn, whatever you want to call it, genre. It didn't work for me. I think when he died in 3, that's when I stopped watching. I never even saw 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 12, or wherever they stopped that. But I did see Jigsaw in the theater.
Like
I remember I think I saw Jigsaw because I thought he was coming back, and I was like, damn it, it was a flashback, and I was like so tight.
Jigsaw was 8. And then Spiral was 9. So there's been 9 in
I saw Spiral. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, Saw, fantastic. Still recommend it to anyone if you have not
Hell,
seen
it launched a 9-movie franchise. So
yeah. So with that said, 2007 he came out with his other horror movie, and this is before his other big ones. He started. This is when he put his little tippy toe into the horror genre, and with a little thing called Dead Silence. Now, this is a first time watch for me. Never saw this movie at all. So, Nate, what did you think of it?
All right, so going through the career, going through the journey here, which is why I'm glad, like I said, you did it this way. Saw, big success. No budget, no money. This guy's a nobody, big success. Universal says, hey, bro, get this guy on the phone. We're going to throw some cash his way and let him make another movie for us, because that was the Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures, if you remember. I always loved that logo with the little nail and the barbed wire.
Yeah, I like that.
So Universal comes and they're like, hey, we want to do a horror movie with you. Lee Winnell writes this one as well. So they got the same team, and they gave him more money. So this one had what?
20 million.
20 million compared to, like, I think 2 or 3, something. I know it was low for Saw. If you could grab it.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't 20, and I bet you it wasn't even half of 20. So
1.2 million.
1.2. That's peanuts, honestly.
Yeah.
So they gave him an upgrade of nearly 20 million. And the movie was made. Now, at the time, I liked this movie when it came out. Again, I was young, 20 years old, like Saw. I was like, ooh, I just consumed all horror that I could. I still kind of do that, but and on the rewatch now, I didn't like it as much. This one did not hold up for me. So unlike Saw, that I still felt held up, this one did not. Donnie Wahlberg is really goofy in this.
Yeah, he's the cop, right? The detective.
Yeah, and there's some things in this. There's some things in this movie that you would see where his career is gonna go, but you could tell he wasn't quite there yet. And to me, this one's, watching it now, it's not very scary at all. Unless you're deathly afraid of, like, ventriloquist puppets, then maybe. But yeah, not as successful. Did not make a big churning, did not churn a big profit. I mean, it made money, I'm sure, but and critically, no, didn't do well with audiences or critics that much. So I wasn't crazy about it on the rewatch, but I did like it when I first watched it.
All right, so this is a first time watch for me. So I was shitting in my pants watching this movie. So I'm not. Let me tell people right now, I'm not very big with demonic, spiritual things and based on true story. Once a movie says based on true story, my heart is already going at 180 beats per minute because I'm like, damn, this shit can happen. So when it came to Death Silence, I did like I liked the way the movie was going. I liked the concept. I was like, this is actually a really cool concept. To me, again, it falls under the X-Files umbrella type story. Like, wow, if this was the X-Files story, this actually would be pretty cool. Like, it goes up that Mulder and Scully investigation. I liked it. I was scared. I was like, okay, but again, I'm like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, so anything scares me. You could blow in my ear and I'll jump like 20 feet. So I enjoyed it. I thought the storyline worked. I did not like the characters. They were so goofy and everything. It did not work for me. But I did like the twist at the end. I was like, ooh. I was like, okay. I saw a little bit of his new stuff coming in. Like, because I already saw his other kind of work. So I kind of saw a blueprint of how he's going to be doing his horror movies going down the line. But I liked it, though. Now, it's not like the greatest horror movie, but I will say there was still jump scares that to me is still held up. Like when the kid was in the coffin room or whatever in the funeral, and then he drops the coffin. And she turned into the scene. That shit. Oh, look, we're goosebumps right now. Like, so that was pretty crazy. But yeah, I you know what? I give it a 3 out of a 5. It was good. It was a solid horror movie. I'm not gonna go crazy.
I agree with that. I think the premise was cool. Like, I think the idea was cool to make it like this folk tale, in this town, and it's this old story that it's one of those like campfire movies, right? Where they're like telling a story around a campfire. It reminded me of like a Goosebumps story, or like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Yeah, some like 90s, like, oh, this lady who did ventriloquist puppets, and then one of them came alive and she killed this kid in the town. It has that urban legend feel to it. Yeah, so I like that. But there's a lot in the execution that watching it now I didn't love as much, but I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, no, but you're right though. It's not. It won't in the standards of now. No, it's not even good. But I think personally, I think it holds up. You'd be like, oh, okay. But again, if you're scared of the clowns and shit like that, you'll be freaking out.
Oh,
But
yeah, if
to
you're
me,
scared of puppets.
yeah, you'll freak the hell out. So with that, I'm gonna give it a 1 scream factor. That's what it's gonna get. That's a 1 scream factor. It doesn't get the 2 scream factor. But okay, with that said, let's go to the next one because this is another movie I never saw. So this is another 2007 movie. So I don't even know where he had time to shoot 2 movies back to back. But this is Kevin Bacon's movie, starring in Death Sentence. Now this had a budget of $20 million. So I'm just gonna go with the budgets on all of them, so we have a mind.
Because that's the important thing that I was trying to get to.
Yeah. So this is another $20 million project behind Death Silence at $20 million. So Nate, please let me know what did you think of Death Wish?
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's pretty much Death Wish. So this was Fox. So now, did the movie universe, and now Fox gives them a call, like, hey man, listen, we'll give you $20 million, make a different movie, okay? And Lee Winnell, again, he brought his guy. He's involved with the writing. He was in this movie too. He's one of the gang members. Okay, I like this movie better than Dead Silence. I like Kevin Bacon in it a lot. I think he's really good. The cast is pretty cool. Like you have Kevin Bacon, you have Kelly Preston as his wife. She's always solid. Like she's a side, she's like a supporting actress, but she was cool. You have Garrett Hedlund as the leader of the gang, which was kind of weird at the time because I had only seen him I think Four Brothers was before this. I'd seen him in Four Brothers. But I think he did okay in this. And then, of course, John Goodman. John Goodman's great in almost everything he's in. He's only in this a little bit, but he's awesome. But you're right. This is kind of like Death Sentence. It's funny that Death Wish. It's funny that you said that. It's a revenge thriller. There is some really, really cool. This was one I had on DVD. It only has a DVD. It does not have a Blu-ray. I have it digitally in HD, but I used to have the DVD and I watched the special features back when I used to watch special features when I had more time. And there's some really cool things they did with the shooting of the movie. The parking lot scene, the parking garage scene in particular, they are passing that. It's like 3 cameramen, and Kevin Bacon's like crawling through the things and they have to pass the camera. It's one long take. So they showed how they made it. And like they're passing the camera through down the floor. Then there's one part where he goes up and the camera, they pass it to a person outside. They're on a crane, and then it turns to a crane shot up over the top. And like knowing how they did it and then watching it back, it's like, wow, this was really he's a good director. He had this idea like, hey, we're going to shoot it this way. That being said, the story's pretty generic. If you've seen any revenge movie ever, you've seen Death Sentence. It's pretty badass. I think the movie's pretty good. Watching it now, it's not as good as when I saw it when I was younger, but I don't hate it. And again, I like Kevin Bacon in it. I think he's really good. So I enjoy watching his storyline and kind of what he goes through. Although I don't agree with a lot of the decisions he makes, I still like watching him in it. So that's just kind of my take on it.
Yeah. All right. So this is the first time watch for me. I did not like this movie. I did not like this movie. I thought you
might. I mean, this is interesting.
So I didn't like the direction it was going. Like for me, I hate. It's funny because I'm gonna sound like you, but I hate when it's like mad obvious. Not obvious, but like when it's like not convenient. What's the hell's the word? Like, he's gonna do it, but he should have not did it because the consequences are just gonna unfold. Like for me, he didn't need to kill the guy, but he killed the guy, and then everything. He just lost his wife. He lost his kids. Like he lost everything because he decided to take the law upon himself. So, but like I felt like the way it just didn't feel as realistic. Like. I don't know. It just, to me, it didn't feel as, the storyline, I couldn't click with the storyline. It just felt kind of weird because I saw Death Wish. So I guess I just kept.
Well, apparently, looking at the trailer, I guess this is based on a book from the author of Death Wish. So maybe that's why they seem so similar.
Yeah, maybe it just threw me off because I was thinking of Death Wish a lot watching the movie. Yeah. Kevin Bacon was amazing in the movie. He was really good in the movie. And again, James Wan's camera work is very good. Even at his third movie in. You could see that he's ahead of the game in terms of the way he visionary, like he sees, because this is not, the thing that people don't understand, this is now not horror. Now he's going to another element in film is action, and that's a different animal.
Much, yeah,
it's pretty much, everyone thinks filming is the same thing, but it's not. It's a different animal, the way you tell a story now in the action form. I thought he did a great job. I agree with you. The parking lot scene was my favorite, and the ending when he just went guns blazing.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
ending
I
scene
like
was
that.
awesome.
Yeah, he was really good. And I thought it was very well. So with that said, I wasn't too crazy. I gave it like a 2.5 out of a 5. Decent film, but I don't think I will put it in my collection anytime soon. But if I find it for cheap, I would pick it up. I won't say I wouldn't, but I would. All right, next on the list. Now, this is the last film inside that filmography video.
Yes.
Now, Insidious. Insidious came out in 2010. This movie budget is the same budget I saw at 1.2 million. So what did James Wan do with the fourth movie? Well, he shook the boots out of everybody in the theater. Nate, what did you think of Insidious when you saw it in the theater for the first time?
I love this movie. I loved it when I saw it at the theater. And yeah, that's the incredible trajectory, right? Make a no-budget movie, make a ton of money. Get more money, 2 flops. The studio's like, we ain't giving you all this money anymore. Sony, it's like, we'll give you 1.2. And look what so far, out of the first 4 movies, the ones with the smallest budgets are the one where he literally hit a home run, in my opinion. This movie is scary. I still find it scary now. I think it is, first of all, he got great actors in it. Patrick Wilson is great. And they'd go on to form kind of a good, I think he's in 5 of his movies. So Patrick Wilson is in this. Rose Byrne is in it. She's always great. You got Barbara Hershey, who's a veteran actress. Lynn Shay. Again, Lee Winnell pops up as and he's one of the writers on this as well. Good cast, better cast than his last 2 movies, to be honest with you, with less money. And I think this is where he really discovered like horror is a strength of his. And, you know, obviously his action movies, as we know later, they even made more. But I just feel like he is a master of the genre already. I honestly feel that. And I think he right away cemented it with this film. I think Insidious is great. I still think it's scary to this day. It has some of the best scare scenes. Like, they come out of nowhere. Like, they're jump scares, but they're not the traditional jump scares. Like, it's not, okay, I'm sitting here looking and all of a sudden it's like a loud, you know, a random bird flies into a window. I don't like that. But like when the mom's walking, like she's going to check on the baby and she goes, and then there's like this figure that's just like walking, scared the crap out of me. Even thinking about it, it just creeps me out. This movie creeps me out. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, look, dude, I saw this movie for the first time. I think my little brother brought the Blu-rays. I think 1, 2, and 3, I believe. He came with all 3 of them. He goes, all right, we're going to watch horror movies. And I was like, what is this shit? So I said, all right. So my wife sits down and we're drinking. I mean, we were drinking. So I'm drinking and I was like, what is... Yo, I shook, bro. When I say drinking and watching a horror movie don't mix, because I was like, dude, I was out of it. I was like, what? I couldn't sleep for a few weeks. Like, I was done. But what makes James Wan, you're absolutely, and I've been saying this for a long time, I think he is the master of horror. I'm going to say it right now. To me, he's a master. I think he's way better in the horror genre than Jordan Peele. Everyone throws that Jordan Peele dude in the horror genre. No, James Wan is a horror freaking genius. You're so right. The jump scares are not what makes you go, it's the way he executes it. And he does it in a creative way. Patrick Wilson is talking here. And all of a sudden, a figure goes, boo!
It's like a
and
long
look, I already got goosebumps. That's the motherfuckers behind me. Darth Maul comes out.
It because they're just talking back and forth. It keeps cutting back and forth.
Yes.
And he's there.
So the way it's creative camera work that makes James Wan a genius in that field. Insidious, the storyline, let me just tell you, the storyline is very poltergeist, okay? The kid he could time travel. I mean, he could go to sleep and go into a realm and the dead people could find him. And I'm like, you know what? That sucks. But when he's in the real world, that's when Big Papa Al is scary. I was like, oh, damn. But I like it, though. You know what? I give this a 2 scare. That's 2 screams. Because you know what?
It's definitely scarier.
It's a very scary movie. Still holds up to. And I do own all 3 of them on Blu-ray. I'm not a fan on 2. We're going to be talking about it in a few. But this one is up there in horror.
And, you know, it's funny, too, because he makes you scared of stuff that's not that scary. Like that song, that Tiptoed in the Tulip song. It's weird, but now I'm scared of it because of this movie. It's like that's a horrifying song. That kid, one of my favorite scenes is when Rose Byrne is walking through the house with that Tiptoe to the Tulip song, and that kid is standing in the corner. And if you're not looking, you won't see him. But if you happen to glance over, you like the hairs on your neck will stand up like, wait a second, was there a kid standing in that corner?
Yeah.
Did I just see that? And it's very well done. I mean, I think the end brings it down a bit for me because it gets a little too crazy. But overall, overall, I think it's a fantastic film.
I watched the behind the scenes on this movie. The kid that you see right here, the main lead.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. The scenes that was with the devil looking dude, he was freaking out behind the scenes. Like if you see it, he was crying before they said action. Yeah. And Patrick Wilson and James Wan had to stop filming. Like they had to stop. Like James Wan said that he had to cut filming and bring in the guy and take off his prosthetics and everything to show the kid that it's a guy under it. Yo, the kid was freaking the fuck out. And I was like, you know what?
I would be too.
I would, yeah. I would be too. My chair creaked and I freaked out because I thought it was something else. I went, what the hell? Man. Okay, so with that said, too much of this shit is going to start messing with my mind. Okay, so now we finished this block. It's time to get to the juicy, the meat and potatoes of James Wan's film career. So with that said, let's have some fun. Now this block here, okay, let me tell you, this block might have the most legendary films of all times. Now, this is going to start off at 2013, and it's going to work its way up to 2015. All right, so this is a three film block. So with that said, just like before, this is going to be big screen so you guys can enjoy it. And I'm going to mute the shit out of it because I know what's coming up. So with that said, have fun and enjoy this block.
To the cellar where the doors just opened on its own. Give us a sign that you want to communicate with us. Nothing.
Still happening.
What is? Tell us, what does she want?
You don't know me. You're about to.
Looks like the sons of London have followed us home.
Remember Owen Shaw? This is his big bad brother.
We're being hunted.
All right, so there you have it. That is the block there. All right, we got a little bit of The Conjuring. We got a little bit of Insidious Part 2. And then, of course, we have Fast and the Furious 7, the last film for Paul Walker after the tragic death of him crashing to a tree. Wait, it was a tree, right? I didn't make that shit up. Or it's it was a tree or a pole he crashed into?
Crash, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those two. But anyway, with that said, it doesn't matter, but he still died. Conjuring 2013. Now, let me just tell you, this is not a first time watch for me. Big Papa, seen this a few times.
It's the last time watch for
you. It was the last ever time I'm ever going to watch this movie. With that said, Nate, what did you think of the Now, this is, before you go, this was right back up to a $20 million film budget with the Conjuring. So with that said, Nate, let me know, what did you think of Conjuring numero 1?
Yeah, so he comes back. They said, oh, wow, this last one, Insidious, made good money. Again, low budget. Blumhouse, good money. Conjuring, I believe, is Warner Brothers. They said, look, we'll give you 20 again. Let's try this again. We think you've learned your lesson. Make us a horror movie. Just make us a horror movie. And to me, and maybe this is a spoiler alert for when we do our rankings, but I really don't care. To me, this is his kind of masterpiece movie. As far as horror goes, I think, again, a great cast. You bring Patrick Wilson back. Vera Farmiga is amazing in these movies. She's great in all of them, but she's really good in this first one. And then you get some nice character actors as the family that they're trying to go help. Look, this movie kicked off an entire, they call it a universe, right? It's like the Conjuring universe, right? You have Annabelle, you got the Nun, none of those happen if the Conjuring isn't a success. And boy, is it a success. Everything works for me. This poster is a great poster. That looks like a scary movie. You go walk, if you're walking in theater and you're like, what's this movie with this creepy house and the low-lying fog and a noose hanging from a tree? That looks horrific.
Look at the shadow.
Look at the shadow. There's a dead body. See, my webcam was covering it. It's scary. I saw this at the theater with some coworkers, and one of them was just horrified. I was scared. This is another one where he does a lot. Even though the budget was higher, he does a lot with like little things. You know what I mean? Like a door closing. What's so scary about that? Not much, but in this movie, a lot. It's very scary. I love this film. I think it's fantastic. The performances are great. Sure. Has there been other possession movies before? Yes. So is this like the most original? No. But what happens is when you got a story that's not super original, but a filmmaker who really has a vision and a plan, it turns out to be like this. And I think this movie is it's a 10 out of 10 movie for me. Like, I don't really have any problems with it. I can't think of anything I don't like or that I would change. I think it's a fantastic movie.
Look, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you something, brother. Look, this movie, I agree with you. It's one of his best movies. It's one of his best, okay? We're going to talk about the others. But I agree with you. This movie still holds up. It scared the shit out of me. I don't care what anyone says. This thing still scares the shit out of me. The thing I like about this movie, right, Nate, is the fact that it's based on a true story with Ed and Lorraine Warren, right? So you're going, oh my God. The minute I saw that shit in white letters, I said, oh my God, you already got Big Papa Al. You grab him by the balls, because I was like, oh boy. And then, you're right. Patrick Wilson, Via Farmiga, you go, oh my God. They are such a great couple, right? They're such a great lead that I was like, yo, I will go to the ends of the earth in the movie universe. And I know I'm chicken shit for all these type of movies, but just to watch Via Farmiga and my man Patrick Wilson bust some ghosts, because busting made me feel good, I'm there all the time. I'm there all the time. This movie, especially, very scary, very Amityville, but I like it because it's part of the Ed and Lorraine Warren's universe, because these films cross paths, and I love it. We're going to be talking about it in a few. That's the reason why I like this movie. Very scary, still holds up. One of my favorite horror movies, and I'm not crazy with these type of movies. I don't watch them all the time, but every 20 years or so, I could pop on some little Conjuring and give myself a little stomachache here and there. But this one, is a 5 out of 5 for me.
Too. Yeah, it holds up well too because it's set in like the 70s. It doesn't feel dated, right?
It does not.
It's not modern. So
No.
you could watch this in 30 years and the setting is still, he did it accurately. It has the look, It has the feel. And I agree with you. If we didn't already hammer it home, they are such great leads. They're so sympathetic. They're like kind people who deal in a paranormal, world. And you root for them. You just want them to win, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You want them to help the family. Like, this is not one of those movies where you're rooting for the entity to kill everybody. You're wanting them to get it taken care of. So I agree with you. I love it.
No, it's great. All right, so because we got new people here. We got Mika, Double Horror Pack.
Hey.
She has a great podcast with her sister. This is awesome. So check this out. She says Conjuring is a great film. To me, it it's a big ass word.
Reinvigorated.
Yes,
Yeah.
horror for the 2010 Gray Haunted House story. I definitely think this is the best, his best film. So she agrees with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Jay Manley says The Conjuring was the shit. Then Robert makes the cut, says, in a lamppost.
Oh, you're saying what?
He crashed into the lamppost. Okay. Jimmy said, I saw this in the theater, and I saw it with my dad, and I was so mad at him. I didn't know anything about this movie. Jimmy's not big on these type of films. James Paris says, I like Conjuring 1 and 2, but some of the others in the universe are not as great. Mika comes back and says, The Conjuring is all about what you don't see. Great tension and atmosphere. Doesn't rely on jump scares, and the ones he uses are relevant. And then, of course, my wife said, sorry to break it to you, but we're going to be watching this annual. So I'm fucked with that. And then, of course, Becklish is in the house. Jay, and so I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with everyone's thing here, okay? Conjuring is up there with every horror. Like, I think to me, bro, could be better than The Exorcist. Just me.
Hey, look it. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I hold this movie. I think this is one of the great horror films, period. Like, if you're asking me, what are your top favorite horror films, top 10, I can't give you one right now, but Conjuring is like, it's up there. I think it's one of the greatest horror film total package movies that there is.
No, I'm just saying this to me. This jumped over Exorcist to me, just to me, to me. All right. So with that said, let's go. I'm getting a little wonky tonight because this is all about horror and I'm a little scared. I'm by myself in the basement. So all right, here goes the next one. Now the next one is another one which I was a little mind boggled in this one. Okay, James Wan came back and I said, "Hey man, we're gonna do a sequel to Insidious 2." And I said, "All right, let's see what you got, bruh." Insidious 2, Chapter 2, a budget of $5 million is shot up from $1.2 million from a highly successful 2010 debut of that franchise. Nate, I would like to go first on this one.
Yes, go ahead.
Because I'll let you take over after. This, I did not like at all. I thought this was not a wasted film. I just think it did not work for me. I did not like the story. It didn't have that... It didn't capture the horror that we got from the first movie, where I was scared, like, oh my god, because he started to use the same tropes in this movie, and I don't know if that was a writer's thing, but I didn't like it, and I was like, dude, give me something new. And the reason why I wasn't too big on this, because The Conjuring came out, and I said, you know what, I think he cemented himself with the Conjuring universe than Insidious. I think The Conjuring, to me, is his way realistic movie that you could film in the horror as atmosphere, whereas the Insidious is more clowning. I felt like it was a CW fucking TV show come to life, right? You had the two goofy guys in this part 2. I mean, you had them in part 1, but they wasn't as goofy. Whereas part 2, the dude is eating what was this? The stupid Pop-Tart, not Pop-Tart, he was eating a Hot Pocket. Remember when the guy was talking and he's just looking at him all weird? I was like, dude, come on. Yeah. Like, I just felt like, to me, it wasn't as serious. They try to make this blend of comedy. Elise, she was cool. I liked Elise. I said, you know what? Elise is pretty cool. Then they killed her. And I said, oh, that's a wrong move, bro. I was like, that's not working.
They brought her back for 3 and 4.
Well, which was prequels, right? It was like prequels. Yeah, it didn't work. And I think they realized they did a mistake when they killed Elise. I think they realized, oh boy, that did not work. But anyway, with that said, I gave this movie a 3 out of a 5. It's good, but it's not. Actually, no, I take that shit back. It's a 2.5 out of 5. Okay. It's not as good, but it's still good in that universe. But anyway, what do you think of it?
You know what? I'm gonna agree with you. I used to like. So when I first saw this movie, first of all, I didn't realize they both came out in 2013. That's kind of wild.
It was back to back.
Yeah, the fact that this came out after The Conjuring, if you watch them back to back, is not a good. It's a bad way to do it because Conjuring is head and shoulders above. This felt, watching it now, okay. I have not seen this movie in years, and I remember when it came out, I liked it. And I'm watching it now, and it feels like a movie that he had to do because the first one was successful. And they were like, hey, look, we want to bring you back for this sequel. It did not feel like his heart was in it the way it was in the first Insidious.
Yeah.
Or the way The Conjuring was. It felt like he made this movie. He owed them a sequel because it did well. And they leaned into a lot of the stuff that it didn't work. Like you're right. It's the comedy. There's a couple of parts that I chuckled at. It's not that it's totally not funny, but like the first one's not funny at all. So like for them to kind of lean into humor was weird. I don't need more of Lee Winnell and the other guy was named Angus something. I don't need more of their characters. You know what I mean? Like as the paranormal guys, they're like the poltergeist characters, that they come in and film stuff and do all that. Like her assistants didn't need it. The guy with the little dice that he throws them on the table. I'm like, who's this old guy? I don't care. And then they made, you have this family and then they make him into like a bad guy. And then there's like time travel and a lot of it doesn't work. It does not work on the rewatch. I think Insidious 3 is a way better movie than Insidious 2, especially now rewatching it. So I agree with you. I don't think it's a great sequel, and it's way worse than both Insidious 1 and Conjuring.
And it's funny. I remember when you came up to the house And I was like, yo, dude, I just finished watching Insidious 2. This shit is not good. And I love it because I know you put that face when I know we are in the same brainwaves, but you act like you're not there with me because you do that smile. See? You do that smile. Yes, you do. You put that smirk, and then I'm like, yo, this dude is in the same brain, but he doesn't want to do it. That's how you're going to do it.
I'm just gonna do that from now on,
Yeah, you're going to have to change your face because I already know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
You're
just...
gonna have to.
Yeah, it was too funny, but it's not good.
It's not like horrible. This is probably still better than like a bunch of horror movies that came out that year. Oh yeah, it's better than Halloween Ends. That's for sure. I mean, I don't know 2013, but I bet if I looked back, this was better than some horror movies that came out that year.
Yeah.
But for James Wan, to me, this was a step down.
It was kind of low. Yeah. All right. So let's see. We got some people here talking about this movie. Let's see. Mika said, I definitely would say this is one of the greatest horror films. Oh, no.
Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Talking about Conjuring.
Mika said, Insidious 2 is not as good as the first one, but I think it's an okay follow-up. I agree with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Ralph gave it 2 coffee cups. It's forgettable. Okay. So, and then Mika said, I think after part 2, that Insidious movie goes downhill. Saving Grace has been the great Lynn Shay.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Insidious 3 actually is better than Insidious 2. Now,
is that the one with the dude with the key fingers?
No, that's the fourth one.
I thought that was
Insidious
decent. I
3.
thought that was decent.
Insidious 3 was directed by Lee Winnell. It was like his directorial debut. And they brought Lynn Shay back, and it had some good scares. I haven't seen it in a while. But since we just watched this and it's fresh, I think Insidious 3 is better. I'm gonna have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But I remember it having some good scare. This was not. I didn't find this scary. I was never really scared in Insidious.
It had some moments like when I'm not gonna lie though. The moment with Patrick Wilson and she holds that camera, I did freak out though. Because the music got so freaking eerie. Look, I'm going to get goosebumps again. The music gets crazy. You know what it is? James Wan knows how to put the anticipation with the music. Because, like, it was like, Wah! And I was like, what the fuck? And then you saw see, already goosebumps. Like, I don't like it. All right, here we go. The next on the list, okay? Now, this is where James Wan said, enough with the horror. I need to get to something else. Because you could tell he got tired of horror. I need to make some
cash.
I need to make some money. And he did. He did Fast and the Furious 7, the last movie for Paul Walker, with a movie budget 20,000 times than any horror movie he did, at $250 million budget, okay, for this movie. Nate, what did you think of it? What did you think of this film?
I'm glad you're starting with me on this one.
I know, yeah.
One of us here is a fan of this franchise, and the other not as much of a fan of this franchise. So,
yeah,
$250 million budget, and he made that back like 5 times. So I'm sure Universal is very satisfied with what they got. Here's the thing: this is hard to do. To come into a franchise that you've never been a part of and direct the 7th movie of it, right? That's not an easy task, right? They already have 6 successful films, and they're like, hey, this is the 7th one, and you've never done any of these movies. Why don't you come in and try to direct a movie? And if I don't listen, Alex, I know you're not a fan of this franchise that much, but as a fan, this is one of the top 3 best Fast and Furious movies. It is. It's crazy. But at this point, it's already crazy. So, a guy coming from horror, which is a genre that is not realistic. It's not, you know what I mean? Like there's monsters and creatures and all this kind of crap. So he already has the mindset of, okay, I'm not working in necessarily like super reality here. And it works. Listen, this movie has a lot going for it. The action scenes are really well shot. This Fast and Furious movie, it's really funny. If you do watch them all, this one looks different than all the other ones. He does some crazy stuff with the camera, even just in the fight with Jason Statham and The Rock, where he does the rock bottom through the table and the whole camera like flips like upside down. Then he goes in the chair and he puts the camera on the side of the chair and the chair goes back and the camera goes back. Some of his shots on the cars when they're driving on the road, like you could tell it's his movie if you've seen all of his movies.
Yeah.
This one has Tony Jaa, who I love. I love Tony Jaa. He gets to fight Paul Walker in this. I thought the ending was great as a send-off to Paul Walker, because he passed away during filming. So he filmed a good amount of his scenes, and then I know his brother was a stand-in for him, and then they digitally did the face, but he did get to fight Tony Jaa. That scene is fun. If the Fast and Furious movies are too over the top for you, this won't change your mind because this one's over the top. But this one, I feel like it is still so entertaining. It is. It has some really great moments. Jason Statham as a villain is a lot of fun. Because he's always a good guy in movies. So it's fun to see him be a bad guy. The fight he goes one-on-one with The Rock is great. It's like a great fight scene. He shoots it wide. James Wan just knows how to shoot a movie. So I love that they picked him to do a Fast and Furious movie. And again, this would be a top 2 or 3, honestly, of the Fast and Furious movies. I think it's great for that series. But again, if you're not a fan of the series, this is not the one that's going to flip you over. I don't think. It's not a game changer. But good for him. He got a paycheck, and I think he knocked it out the park within this franchise.
Yeah, I will say, all right. Okay, so when it comes to this movie, I'm not a big fan of this franchise. And again, we're going to be tackling it on our Action Movie Guys podcast. If you guys are not listening, it's on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio. It's all about action movies, so we cover everything there. In terms of this movie, I enjoy the action of the movie. Some of the dialogue I do not enjoy at all. It's just horrible dialogue. Yeah. Vin Diesel is one of the most worst actors I think I've seen on screen, and this dude got 10 movies of this shit. So it tells you a lot. Yeah. It just tells you a lot. I mean, you can ask my wife. I laughed at every scene that he does his thing. He's you don't mess with family.
My family.
Yeah, everything's family.
He loves his family.
What was the stupidest? Oh, when they went to get the car chip, right? And he goes,
"Yeah,
you don't lock a beast in a cage. It deserves to get loose." Oh man,
the Ferrari, like the Ferrari car, or
the Bugatti or something.
The building.
Yeah, it's one of those.
I love that scene. It's great.
No, it's I
know what you're saying. The dialogue, but look, listen. Chris Morgan, the writer, is not known for his Shakespearean dialogue.
No,
That's
I understand.
not what you're watching this movie for. But you're right.
I totally get it. It's like saying, you don't put your hand in the cookie jar.
True, you don't.
You don't. But anyway, it's just whatever. It is what it is. I like the ending. I thought it was a great ending. To send off someone that died and send off that character, I think they did one of the best jobs I think I've seen in a franchise do
it was respectful.
To a character. Yes, very.
They didn't kill him off. They didn't. No. It was nice. Yeah.
No. But I thought they did a great job. Action sequences were great. Storyline, I'm not into the crazy storyline, but everything worked very well. Even The Rock, I liked him. He was really funny in the scenes. Jason Statham was good, but then he changed down the line. So it was a weird 360. But anyway, as a whole, good movie. I give it a 3 out of 5. Most likely it would change once we do the franchise we watch.
I think within the franchise, when you rewatch them, you're going to rank it high.
Yeah,
even if your score doesn't change, I think you'll like it better than a lot of the other ones.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's
it's fun.
Yeah, it is. All right, here we go. This is the last package, okay, film package that I put together for you guys. Now, this one goes from 2016 all the way to 2021. Enjoy this. I'm just gonna let your asses know there ain't no nun here, so I ain't let her ass come and ruin it for me. But it's still creepy. So with that said, sit back and enjoy this medley of movies. So this is again 2016 to 2021 to Malignant. So enjoy this.
An oppressing spirit will try to force you to commit the ultimate sin.
And what's that?
Murder, suicide, or both.
I'm no leader. I came because I had no choice. I came to save my home and the people that I love.
You think you're unworthy to lead because you're of two different worlds. But that is exactly why you are worthy.
Whatever happened to you before you joined our family hurt you in a way that I can't even imagine.
Stop saying that.
Maddie, who are you talking to?
Gabriel.
Is he your imaginary friend? Imaginary?
He's the devil.
All right, so there you have it. Those are the medleys from 2016 all the way to 2021. All right, so we're gonna start it off with the Conjuring 2. All right, I'll just kick it off here. Okay?
Yeah, you go first. You go first because this is. I know you feel differently about it than me.
Yeah,
but you go ahead.
This is James Wan's Mona Lisa of horror movies. I'm telling you right now, it comes this, then comes Conjuring 1. This movie is scary. It still holds up. I still haven't put that character in any of the things that we've done, if you notice that. It's one of the most creepiest characters, I think, designed that I've seen in a long time. Still, like, it haunts the shit out of me. I don't know why. But it's creepy. The movie budget was $40 million. It was double than the first movie. And it made way more. I mean, Warner Brothers was like, well, we got a hit here with my man James Wan. Now, sadly, technically, this is the last movie in terms of the horror. He does not want to go back to it. I know he did Malignant, but if you watch the making of the Malignant, he talks a little bit why he went back to the horror genre. But I'll talk about that in the Malignant part. But in terms of the Conjuring 2, storyline is absolutely flawless in this movie. It paces very well to me. There was no dead spots in this movie. It is very creepy, the way they shot this movie. The scenes with the music, oh my God, look, I'm getting goosebumps. The painting scene is one of the, you cannot tell me that's not one of the best reveals of a horror movie character in our generation, bro. It is what, and the camera work between the painting and that person is masterpiece. And I'm still catching goosebumps. And I'm looking to the side where her stupid doll is because it's freaking me out. It is one of those things, to be really honest with you. It's a very, I think this is where he put his everything, like all his marbles in a jar. But like he's like, I'm gonna put all my knowledge of camera work and everything into this film. Dude, I don't know what to say, bro. Lorraine Warren, my man Patrick Wilson, Farmiga, I would have gave them Oscars for this movie. Because they were awesome. Even their daughter standing there next to that damn thing. Because I couldn't. Hell no. But I would have given an Oscar because I wouldn't have did it. But honestly, all in all, another 5 out of 5. 1 and 2 has to be one of the best 1 and 2 horror movies I think I've seen in a long time. I cannot say that. I mean, anyone out there, I know you guys are horror dudes and females watching us live right now. Let me know 1 and 2 that topped the first one. And it could be the best. I think this is the best movie. I don't know. What do you think? I think this is the best one, dude, to be honest.
Yeah. Not me, but I do like it. Obviously,
I want to know why, though. I want to know why. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I think I like the storyline in the first one better. I think this treaded similar waters. And so it wasn't as original. I do like a couple things. Ralph pointed out in the chat, and I do like that the Amityville sequence in the beginning. Dude. But again, that's borrowing from another existing, thing. I agree with you with the nun.
But they got research from the actual Lorraine Warren was there giving her knowledge, bro.
I know. I'm just saying. I know everyone's seen the Amityville horror. So
I guess.
It's not like it wasn't like brand new.
Okay.
But it was good. It was well done. If he directed an actual Amityville horror movie, it would probably be better than all the other Amityville.
That's what I told my wife after watching it. I said he needs to do Amityville. Yeah,
I would say that. I agree with you. The performances are still great. It's scary. It's definitely scary. It has its great scares, good set pieces. I'm not as scared of the nun as you are.
Oh no!
But I do think it's cool. But I have seen the Nun, the movie, and it was horrible.
That was bad.
I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Which then makes this Nun it's like, okay, well, whatever. But here's the thing for me, and this always happens, and this happens with a lot of movies for me, especially horror. I think the ending's too overblown. Like, it gets to a point where it's so big and loud, and there's so much stuff happening that it's for me, it's no longer scary. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this is like many loud noises, stuff's breaking, and people are flying everywhere, and then it becomes a little too much. So for me, it just is a notch below. Don't get me wrong. I think this movie's great. I think it's a really great sequel. I'm not arguing the point of like, as a 1 and 2, it's one of the best. One of the best. I'd have to really sit and think, but it's one of the best 1 and 2 movies. And if you watch them back to back, that's a great horror, scary double feature. 100% agree. I just like one better. I think I like the low key nature and it's still scary, than this one, which it got double the budget, but it feels like a bigger movie. 100%. Yeah, the Crooked Man scene is creepy. David said in the chat. I agree, but that's the thing. Like they're trying to. I feel like he knew the first movie they introduced. They had the Annabelle scene at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Annabelle kicks off this franchise. It felt like he was putting stuff in this movie to try to do that. Like, okay, we're gonna put this nun. Now everyone's gonna be scared of the nun. Okay, we're gonna put a Crooked Man, and they were supposed to make a spinoff of the Crooked Man. It's like it seemed random in hindsight because it seemed like they were just trying to make more spinoffs. So those kind of things bug me a little bit. Don't yell at me in the chat or nothing. I'm not saying it's bad. I like this movie a lot. It's good. It's really scary. I just like the first one better.
I will say this, coming from my mouth is very shocking. I would not mind having Conjuring 1 and 2 on 4K.
It should.
It should have it. It should have it.
They're filmed really well. That 4K would be a nice upgrade on them.
Yeah. I mean, but look, other than that, look, I don't know, man. It's just one of those things. I just love it. Every time I listen to that damn Elvis song, I think of Conjuring 2 now. That's why I don't listen to it much. He killed my favorite song. That was my favorite song I used to rock. Not no more. All right, here, Mika said, The Conjuring 2 was a great follow-up to the first film. Still creepy and scary. Based on another true story following another haunted house story. I love the love story again between Lorraine and Ed. Yeah, I mean, it was a great love story there. Ralph said, I love the Amityville sequence in the beginning. Robert said, good point, Ralph. Robert said the nun. And then, of course, Ralph said, look, the 2 did top the first one. David McGuire says the Crooked Man, creeping them out. And then Robert says, I like 1 better. Okay. Jay Manley says, look, I think the follow-up was just as good as the first. It's okay if you do. It's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we ain't making y'all pick sides.
No, we're not picking.
Like whichever one you like.
It's pretty much. Ralph said they gonna do a spin-off about the Elvis record Ed was playing in Conjuring 2. What?
Don't make jokes because it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a haunted record, and then it's gonna be the story
Elvis
of the haunted
comes
record.
out.
They'll make 3 movies of it. And it'll be a haunted record.
Oh, Jesus. No, but look, I think it was a phenomenal horror movie. So
great sequel.
Which
is hard to do. Yeah.
Very. Better than Insidious 2, I'll say that. All right, here we go. Next one. Yeah. Now, this is another movie James Wan is going to put his little pinky toe into, a comic book movie. DC, but not a big character, because it's not a big character. Aquaman is not Batman or Superman or even Wonder Woman. And he said, you know what? I'm going to make my boy mad good. He's going to look good looking for the females. And we're going to throw a little spicy storyline here. Yeah. And you know what? I say he hit it out the park. After rewatching it today, Aquaman still holds up, bro.
It's kind of a banger, bro.
Aquaman's
kind of a banger.
It's a very, he does a lot of good choices with the camera work that separates him from Batman, Superman camera work, which again, we could talk about. That's another episode. But in terms of Aquaman, personally, I think he did a fantastic job with Aquaman. The budget was $200 million. It says 150 to 200. I believe 200 with the reshoots, so I'll go with the 200 on this one.
It made $1 billion.
Yeah, it made $1.148 billion in the box office. Yeah. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna say this, and I don't want people to go crazy with me. Amber Heard was hot as Mera.
She is. She's crazy in real life. She's a horrible person, but that don't make her ugly physically. She's attractive.
No, she's very attractive, Amira. I mean, I know the hate now with the Johnny Depp thing, and she's not going to be as much in the movie, but it's a shame. She had a good a star or whatever the hell the line is. She was going up, and she screwed the pooch, trying to mess with Johnny. So, but with that said, look, the film was excellent. I thought there was flaws here and there, but again, if you're into a comic book, you can find those. To me, I didn't find none. I enjoyed myself watching this movie. The ending sequence battle between my man Ocean Master and Aquaman is very good. I like the whole disaster and even underwater with everyone going. I mean, there was so much fish and sharks dying. You could make a buffet and Sizzlers.
Giant crabs.
Giant crab. Oh my God! Imagine the crab meat out of that thing.
Oh, you could feed a country with that thing.
Oh
feed
my!
a whole country,
dude. Oh man, those things. He should be like telling those people, look, all the dead fishes that we just destroyed, we gotta give it away. Let them be eaten. But no, in all honesty, Nicole Kidman was good. His father that played the father was really good. Dolph Lundgren was good. My man William Dafoe was excellent. But anyway, I'll let you go. I gave this movie actually a 4 out of 5. I think it was a great movie, and it still holds up.
I love this movie. I always loved it since I saw it at the theater. Now, you're the DC guy here, not me. I do like DC, and the funny thing is, like, my favorite superhero is Batman, which is a DC character. But in general, I'm not crazy about like a lot of the DC characters. Yeah. To take a character, this is he did for this what I think like Iron Man did with MCU, where they took a character who you would call like a C-level character, honestly. Aquaman is, I've never walked up to somebody and say, hey, who's your favorite DC character? And they say, Aquaman. Never. Don't know that person. It's Wonder Woman, it's Superman, it's Batman. Pretty much. Maybe someone likes The Flash or Green Lantern, but no one ever picks Aquaman. And he made Aquaman into one of the best characters in the DC like films. First of all, he looks amazing. Jason Momoa, I love him as an actor because he just has this like swag about him, charisma. You know, is he like a great Oscar-winning actor? No, but can he play this role? 100% yes. He looks the part. He's physical. He's big. He looks different than the comic version, right? Every time I see Aquaman, he's like blonde hair and blue eyes, and this guy looks like he's like a Fiji guy or Hawaiian or whatever. And he was great. Samoan, he looks like that. Tamura Morrison, that's the dad. Great. I love the story with him and Nicole Kidman. I think it's great. I like the love story. I like that he always goes to look for her and all that kind of stuff. I think it's very sweet. Nicole Kidman's great. She's one of my favorite actresses, so I agree with you there. And the underwater stuff is hard to pull off. When you're making a movie with underwater like action, it's hard to do because water physics are not like land physics. But I think they found a way to make it great. Like the underwater scenes are great. They almost make it like it's space. It almost seems like it's a battle in space, which was cool. You get the Ocean Master. Oh, Patrick Wilson is great as the villain, by the way. Like he's always a good guy too. Great to see him as a bad guy. I love his outfit, that purple and silver. It looks sick. I love their fight on that big ship. I like Black Manta. I think the actor's cool.
Good. Yeah.
I love the fight scene in Italy. I thought it looks great. This movie's bright. It's one of the best looking, like if you got a good 4K TV, this looks fantastic in 4K. It's colorful. It's bright. It's a lot of fun. And my man, James Wan, I'll wrap up with this. He found a way to sneak a little horror scene in here with the trench. He said, let's put him on this boat. It's going to be spooky and scary. There's lightning. And then that scene is kind of like a horror movie. It's like a little miniature horror movie. Yeah, and I love it. And then he's like, all right, that was my horror for this movie. We'll get back to like fish and sharks talking with each other and turtles and whatever else they got down there. So
I'll say this.
Yeah.
I know why you like Patrick Wilson's silver and purple suit. Because it looks like Shredder.
He does. Oh, you know what? Subconsciously, that might be it. I'm like, yo, this is Shredder.
Yeah.
Aquaman versus Shredder.
Yeah, because you
I
love
thought
your
Patrick
turtles.
Wilson was awesome.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I always have. I saw it like 2 or 3 times at the theater. I was like, no way. This Aquaman movie's not good, but it's great. I love it.
It still holds up. I'm gonna be not like the other ones, like Wonder Woman.
It's a ton of fun. Like if you just want a good, entertaining movie with well-shot action, it's great.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you that beginning action with Nicole Kidman defending Arthur and the father. Oh, I love the camera
around that room.
Yeah, loved it when it went around her and then she grabbed the stick and she went. Doo-doo-doo. I thought that was sick. All right, here we go. Next movie on the list. Now this is the last one until Aquaman 2 because that's the next movie that's coming out. It's a little horror movie called, not horror, but it's a little thriller called Malignant.
Yeah.
Right? So, let me, did I pull the budget? No, I didn't grab the budget. But I'll pull that up while we're talking. Malignant. So, what I was saying about Malignant was, during the film, I was watching behind the scenes, he did not want to do any more haunted houses movies. He's like, he's done with those. I think he cemented himself very well in terms of the horror genre and horror. He wanted to do something different, and he collaborated with another writer, a girl writer, And they came up with this storyline. I think it was unique. I thought it reminded me, like, again, another X-Files episode. But when the action kicked up, I said, my man Wong knows how to shoot action. You know what I thought of, bro?
The police station scene?
Yeah. You know what I thought of? And I looked at my wife and I went, Marvel's missing a director for Blade. They got to call my man James Wan.
Oh.
Dude, James Wan
He
has the
hit a
action.
grand slam. Yeah.
He has the action down pat. He knows, we already know he's the king of horror. And then it's a vampire movie, bro. Oh my God. Marsha Ali.
That's a grand slam, my friend.
And James Wan. Oh, if I'm Kevin Feige or Foggy or whatever his name is, Fudge, whatever.
If he doesn't want to do a horror tinge, I would love to see him do X-Men. I think he would crush an X-Men film as well. Wolverine, get him some Wolverine in there.
I think Wolverine should go to Zack Snyder.
Blade is better.
But Blade,
I'm saying Blade is better. But like, if
Blade.
he's like, I don't want to do anything horror related at all, I would love to see him do an X-Men movie.
That's okay. I can see. Okay, I can see that. But I think Blade would be my number one choice for him. But anyway, this movie is fantastic. I love it. I love the low budget look to this. I don't know what the budget is. When Nate is talking, I'll pull it up for you. But I love the low budget look to it. It looked like a Netflix type of movie. And I loved it. I brought it in 4K. And it was shocking because when we were talking about it when it came out, everyone was like, oh, you're not going to like it because it's a horror. And at 360, I love this movie. I think this movie, it's very creepy, but once you find out the spinoff, the spoiler, it's already a normal, generic movie. And then that police scene, bro. Ay, Santa Maria. That movie, that scene is crazy. But anyway, this movie, another 4 out of 5 for me. What did you think of Malignant?
So, yeah, I read an interview somewhere where he said he wanted to make a movie that was like in the 80s or 90s when you go to a video store and find the weirdest looking, low budget, crazy movie that you never heard of. And that's kind of what he was trying to make with this movie. And once you have that, so here's the thing. I saw this at the theater. You saw this at home because this was HBO Max.
Yes.
Day, this was last year when they were doing them. I saw this at the theater and I walked out of the theater and I remember I was like, what the hell did I just watch? I didn't like it or dislike it. I didn't know how to feel. I was like, that movie was so weird. Then I read that interview and I said, okay, if that's what he's going for, I need to watch it again. And then I also know he was inspired by giallo movies, which I'm now starting to get into some, it's Italian horror. It's like murder mysteries, basically.
Okay.
This is literally a giallo movie with like a supernatural element. It's what it is. Someone's killing people. The cops are trying to figure out who's doing it. That's like what the genre is. And once you know what he's doing, I appreciate the movie much more. I like it. I like it now. I didn't love it when I first saw it. I was like, I don't know, man. This movie's weirdo. But yes, it's basically a modern giallo 80s horror craziness, low budget movie is what it is. I think he nailed it. Again, the direction's great. The police station scene is like, I mean, one of the best when that thing just flings the chair. Hilarious. It's funny, but it's like, and I think he did it over the top enough where you're supposed to laugh. Also, like knowing what it is and it's like running backwards and it looks so weird and creepy and off-putting. There's a lot to it that I like. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a lot of fun, honestly. And there's some really great shots in this, some Hitchcock stuff, overhead views.
Oh, with the spider camera. Oh, dude.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, he does some really crazy stuff, and I love it.
You should check out the behind the scenes on the spider camera because they were tapping with cameras, and he was like, I want the spider camera, and they all got shot because they had to cut off the top of what they did.
Yeah, you can't have a ceiling.
Yeah, so they had to cut it all off, and you see them all kind of tight because he made them all. Yo, I loved it. I loved it. I think that was cool. This movie was $40 million budget.
It didn't make that much, but it's because they did. This is when it was COVID, and they were dropping all the movies on streaming at the same time. I think that didn't help it either.
Yeah.
I think it has a cult. It's gonna have like one of those cult followings in like 5 years. Watch.
It could be, and you know what's crazy? One thing you said down the line was James Wan. Anytime you say James Wan's name in a horror genre, people do get excited. People get really excited. And that's a good thing, where people go, oh, James Wan is helming. What? And I think if he ever does a Blade movie and you put James Wan, Blade, I think that's money right there. That is so much money.
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, people will be like, "Oh my God, Marshall Ali and my
The action scenes will be so sick.
Oh, dude. But they have to have the music though, the boo, boo,
and it has to be rated R. It has to be rated
super
R.
rated R. Yeah, I mean, I want to see blood everywhere. But anyway, yeah, let's see what people are saying here. Mika said, "Look, I enjoyed *Malignant*. What a wild ride! That police scene was awesome." Robert says, "Look, my cousin knows how to film action and horror." Oh my God! And then of course that scene was loco. Ralph said, "Gelato." Blood and the Black Lace.
That is one of the movies, yeah.
Jay Manley said, "I've seen *Malignant* several times, and it's a great horror theater." I thought he was gonna say the line from Beetlejuice. I've seen *Malignant* several times, and it keeps getting better. Oh man. Yeah. There it goes. Your Gelato movie. You gotta put it in front of the camera. There you go. Why did I look like a bootleg Chucky?
Deep Red. Well, this is the one Robert just listed.
Oh, okay.
This is a giallo. Yeah, Deep Red. Dario Argento. He's like, I'm just now getting into some of his stuff.
Isn't he a Western director?
No. Dario. No, that's Sergio Leone.
Oh, wait.
Dario Argento. He does giallo. I mean, they're weird as hell, but they're pretty good. I'm a little late to the party, but.
All right. Let me see. Let me go up. James Paris said, "It's also a very fun movie. I love the way that Jason plays. Oh, Aquaman. Badass, but a goof at times. He's just like having fun." All right. Yeah. Everyone looks like they enjoyed the Aquaman. Let me see. Jose says the underwater scenes were great. Yeah, they were great. Very colorful, popping. A lot of the colors were popping, even on IMAX. I remember watching it on IMAX. I was stunned on how great that looked. All right, so there, everyone, we caught up a bit. All right, so we're good. All right, so now we're hitting an hour and 31. Normally, we really don't. Next time, I will cut out.
For Director Spotlight, this is our beefy show.
Yeah, so
thank you for bearing with us.
Yeah, so we could do two things, Nate. We could give our top 5 out of the 10. Because I think if we're gonna go straight 10 out of 10,
I think we can do. I think we could do 10.
You think we do it?
Literally, we do. We just literally 10 seconds on each. We're not doing another. We reviewed them already, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
all right.
We're just gonna rank.
So just bear with me on the putting the names across the board because this is manual.
I'll talk
now.
for 10 seconds. So
yeah. All right. So here we go. We're gonna put a. Oh, sorry. I did not put you on the. Give me 1 second. Let me add Nate on this damn thing. Oops. Boop. All right. I'm so sorry, Nate.
But you can.
There we go. I'm sorry. I did not add you. Okay, so the way is me and Nate always do the live rankings here. And again, mind you, I have the big Batman statue in the back, which is taller than Nate. We just figured that out when he was over.
I think it was huge.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so here we go. So me and Nate got to give our top 10. It says 11, but that was from the first time. So anyway, 10 to 1, we're going to give our number ones and all that. You guys can put your rankings also. So we're going to try to speed this up for you guys. I didn't put my list together. I'm going to do it live while we do it together. Nate already has it because Nate is Nate. So with that said, I'm going to let Nate go first on this so I could just get all these things up. So with that said, Nate, go first. Yeah. What is your number 10?
All right, my number 10, Dead Silence. Again, especially going back and watching now, I just think... Jay, I was taller than you, so I don't know what you're talking about, Jay. He said not taller than me. That box is taller than you too. Dead Silence,
taller than you, all four of you.
Dead Silence was it was just his weakest film out of all of them. Enough said. There's not too much more to add to it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So my number 10, I gotta say, I didn't enjoy as much. I will go with where is it? Here it is. I will go. Doing this really quick. I'm sorry. My number 10 is going to be Insidious 2. I did not enjoy this as much. I thought it was the weakest link in terms of the horror movies here. So it's Insidious 2. What's your number 9?
All right. My number 9 was your number 10, Insidious 2. I think the only movie that it is better than is Dead Silence. The rest of them, I will take over it. Just a weaker entry in his filmography. Still not god awful, but just not as good as the rest.
All right. So we got Insidious. All right, here we go. All right, my number 9 is going to be... And I know it's gonna be shocker to everybody, and especially Nate. My number 9 is Death Sentence. I didn't feel this action movie, but it had potential, so I'll go with that. All right, what's
It had
the
a good
number
lead performance, and that's why it's my number 8.
That's your number 8? Oh my god!
Yeah, we're just like one off. We're just one off. Yeah, Death Sentence, a decent film. I can watch it, but not that often. It's not one I need to revisit very often. But Kevin Bacon's really good, and if you've never seen it, I do suggest it.
Okay, all right. So that's your number 8. So my number 8. Oh, now it's getting a little bit harder. All right, I'm gonna go with this one. It's okay. I'm gonna go with Death Sentence.
No, Dead Silence.
I'm sorry, Dead Silence. That's my number 8. I still think it's a fun movie. Very scary for me. I'm not into that whole puppet thing, but I think to me it was a good film. The first time watch, so I thought it was a good film. All right, what's your number 7?
So this was hard. From here on up, it was a little bit hard for me to make my list because I like all these movies like quite a bit. But I had to put something, and I had to go with Malignant at 7, mostly because I have seen all the other movies more times, and I'm like way more attached to and familiar with them. So I put it 7, but I think over time it could move up. It's one of those movies, like it might sneak up. But for now, it was my number 7.
My number 7, not shocking, Fast and the Furious 7. Again, great action film. Did not like the storyline, and I hate Vin Diesel, so that's just gonna be deducted points. All right, what is your number 6?
My number 6 is Furious 7. So,
Okay.
As a Fast and Furious movie, it ranks really high for me. But as a James Wan movie, it doesn't rank as high for me. If that makes sense. It's not one of his. It's not his top 5, but it's a top 5 top 3 Fast and Furious movie. So I do like it, but it's my number 6.
Oh, now it's coming down to the wire. All right, here we go. Number 6. Oh man, this is hard. All right.
This is why you gotta make your list in advance, like me.
I know. I'm a jackass. All right, here we go. Number 6, I'm gonna go with Malignant. Okay. I liked it a lot. I still think it's one of my favorite movies of 2021. I know there's other ones. I don't want people to go crazy on me. I still enjoyed it. I still think it holds up. But in terms of this list, it's not as strong in terms of the ones that are coming up. So I'm going with Malignant number 6. Number 5.
All right, here we go. This is where we're gonna deviate for real. My number 5 is The Conjuring 2. That is my number 5. Again, I think it's great, but I don't reach for it ahead of the 4 movies I have ahead of it. So it's my number 5. Again, a great sequel, but I just like other ones better.
Wow, I
told you.
People are gonna DM you. All right, here we go.
No, they're not.
Number 5. Okay, here we go. Oh man, this is. Number 5, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Insidious. That's my number 5, Insidious. Yeah, it's a great movie. I still think it holds up, but to me, it's number 5. All right, what is your number 4?
Fair enough. All right, my number 4, Aquaman, is my number 4. I think it is, again, a great DC movie, a great comic book movie, a lot of fun. As a James Wan movie, I think it's a little more James Wan than Furious 7 is. So yeah, that's my number 4. A really enjoyable time.
Son of a bitch. All right, here we go. My number 4.
Having an internal dialogue.
It is. I am. Number 4 is Saw, 2004. I'm gonna go with Saw. I know a lot of people are gonna be shocked, but I had to do it. Yeah, I had to sort it off. All right, here we go. This is top 3. We hit top 3. All right, so with that said, we're gonna run it back. Well, actually, we don't have to. You can read it here. I want to see what you guys have. Robert has 5 Aquaman, 4 Furious 7. Oh, he's going from 5 to that. All right, let's continue. What is your top 3?
Okay, my top 3 are the 3 most James Wan movies that are around. My number 3 is Saw, his debut.
Okay.
It's a great film. It holds up. But he learned, right? Like, it's his first movie. So usually, not always, but usually your first is not your best. You do get better. And I think he got better, but this was a great kickoff to a great career. So that's my number 3.
All right, here we go. Let me just fix that a little bit. All right, here we go. My number 3. Oh man. My number 3.
Just do it.
I know. Okay, here we go. Number 3. Okay, here we go. My number 3 will be. I don't want to get the hate, but it's all right. I'm not.
Don't worry about it.
So good.
This is
all right,
your
here we
list.
go.
This is personal. Yeah.
The Conjuring 1. My number 3. Again, this is the top 3, baby. This is what we're talking about. This is the enchilada. This is the big stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Nate, what is your number? I mean, once we figure it out, I'm just gonna put both.
Yeah.
What's your number 1?
I'll just give them. My number 2 is gonna be Insidious, and my number 1 is The Conjuring. Again, I said it when we were talking about it. I think The Conjuring is his. I think that one's his Mona Lisa, his masterpiece, and I think Insidious is the one that really got him to be able to make that movie. Again, my top 3 are the 3 movies that kicked off, like Saw is what, a 9-film franchise. Insidious it's coming up on the 5th film. Patrick Wilson's directing it. And Conjuring has a whole universe that has like 8 films so to me, they're the 3 that really are the most James Wan movies. And I love them.
All right. Well, this is my top 2 and 1. Of course, Aquaman, number 2. And then again, number 2, Conjuring 2. I think it's to me, I think it's his best work. Personally, I think it's his best work. Aquaman, I'm a big comic book guy. I love DC, and I think he hit it out the park, especially for a guy that never even. I mean, he read comics. I think he did. He said he read the Aquaman comics, but he never dabbled in superhero movies. So to me, that's an
not
extra
the guy you
point.
think.
Yes, I don't think James Wan. That's like James Cameron going, I'm gonna do Fantastic Four. That's like what? Like that is so weird. So anyway,
it's like James Cameron doing like The Conjuring 5. That's weird. Like, what are you doing? You make fantasy action films.
Well, he did Piranha. So
yeah, but come on, that was when he was just like a first trying to learn. Real quick, 2 people gave us their rankings. Robert 5, Aquaman 4, Furious 7, 3, The Conjuring 2, 2, The Conjuring 1. And 1, Saw. So Saw's his favorite. Mika, 10, Furious 7, 9, Death Sentence, 8, Dead Silence, 7, Aquaman, 6, Insidious Chapter 2. Number 5 for her is Saw, 4, Malignant, 3, The Conjuring 2, 2, Insidious, and 1, The Conjuring. So me and her have the same top 2.
So pretty much she's on board with you. She's like, hell with you, Alex. There's no way in hell it'll be Aquaman.
Just top 2.
So
she's a horror fan. So
she's a big horror fan.
You notice her list, all the horror movies are up top. So
well, it does say her name is double
horror pack. It's in the name.
Yeah, no, but she went down with your list. Look, again, nothing's wrong with anyone's list. Again, James Wan is
personal.
Yeah, personal. Horror, Conjuring 2.
I love James Wan though.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite directors. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah, out of all the directors that we did so far, I enjoyed doing the James Wan. I actually was so happy to do him, and there was another one that we did that I kind of enjoyed too. That I like. Michael Mann was really good too when we did his stuff. All right, so with that said, guys, look again. This is our rankings.
Before we wrap up, we gotta announce, and then we'll be done. We gotta announce our next director. You know, every director spotlight, we let you guys know who the next director is gonna be on Director Spotlight. Alex, I know you don't have a graphic for it because
no, I don't.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you guys know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you guys know. Hold on, I'm just deleting all the other live shows that we've done already that I forgot to delete. Okay, so our next Director Spotlight is going to be on November the 21st. So you guys have a month to watch these movies. If you haven't, we're going with our first female director. Very exciting. And we're going to be doing the films of Catherine Bigelow. So if you don't know Catherine Bigelow, just some of her highlights. You got Zero Dark 30, of course, The Hurt Locker, and Point Break, a 90s action classic, Point Break. So she has other movies. We're going to be reviewing all of them. So yes, you have 1 month to watch all the Catherine Bigelow movies. She is the next director on Director Spotlight.
Yeah, so they have our first female in the Director Spotlight, which I am So again, guys, please watch these movies. We encourage everyone to go down the journey with us. If you've seen the movie already, don't rewatch it. If you do, great. But if you don't watch the movies that you have not seen. So at least you watch the entire filmography. We like here on the channel, we're trying to build a film discussion channel where pretty much we're trying to encourage everyone to watch these movies as much as possible. We're watching them. A lot of these movies are going to be for, actually, I've seen Point Break, but I don't know what other movies she's done. And I know it's going to be all first-time watches, like Hurt Locker and 30 Zero Dark 30. So those are going to be actually really fun. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Support the channel. We're going to be a lot of upgrades are going to be happening throughout the month. And again, jumping into the new year, there's going to be a new channels. We're going to do some new stuff here with the channel. It's going to be really fun for you guys. It's a film discussion channel. First, you're going to see a lot of gaming and stuff. That's just for fun. Us having fun with the community and us also.
Next week. Next week is What the Hall.
Our
favorite horror movies with Jerry. Jerry's going to be coming on, and we're going to be showing off our top 6 favorite horror movies from our collections. And then, of course, the following week, horror trivia tournament. So I've already got everyone who volunteered. I'm going to be double checking with you guys next week. If anyone falls out, I may put out a feeler to see if anyone wants to replace them. But we got the horror tournament next week.
Yes, in terms of the horror tournament, for those of you out there, there's going to be a lot of giveaways. So I'm saying it right now. If you want, join in on the live show. If you're not on the tournament, that's okay. You still have chances to win some digital codes. We're going to be giving away a lot of digital codes. I have tons that I have not given out, and that was my fault because I've been working on graphics and trying to help the channel and all that crap. We have a lot of movies to give away. There's going to be a lot of big packs. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff with that. Second, the prize for the tournament. Again, if you're in the tournament, you are in luck. For those of you that are finding out the channel for the first time, you could join in next year. But for this year, it's one of my biggest franchises is the Evil Dead franchise. Me and Nate are going to be giving away Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, the remake of Evil Dead, and of course, Army of Darkness, all brand new in 4K, all across the board 4Ks. No steelbooks. So I don't want people to DM me or Nate asking if they're going to be steelbooks. They're all going to be regular covers. Again,
but they'll all be sealed.
They're all going to be sealed. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not going to be like we opened them. They're going to be
used copies.
Yeah, they're not used copies. These are fresh, new from the companies going to your house, complimentary for me and Nate, and again for you winning the tournament. So again, for those of you that have not have the Evil Dead franchise in your collection, well, you have a shot to win all 4 films for the first time. Well, 1 and 2 was already in 4K, but the other ones are first time this year on 4K. So again, good luck to everyone that joined the tournament. You have shots to win digital codes. There's going to be a lot of horror digital codes, action digital codes. Again, franchises in terms of multi movies, like big franchises. You're going to have a shot to win all of those. On Halloween, we're going to be giving away a lot of stuff on Halloween as a thank you to everyone that supports the channel and hangs out with us on a daily basis every Monday when we're live. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. Podcast, we have a lot of episodes coming out for the podcast. So with that said, just look out for that. We have the new episode is with Jay Manley, which is Sicario. That is a Patreon exclusive, which we're going to be doing more of. I know a lot of people DM me on that one also. We're going to be doing a lot of more of that for the Patrons. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for tonight. I'm sorry we're about to hit that 2-hour mark. But again, I enjoyed this. I love Director Spotlight. It's going to be around this length.
These shows are a little bit longer.
Yeah.
We are watching, if we're going to watch 40 hours worth of movies, we're going to talk to you about them. But hey, we're 1 hour every other episode. So if we get a little long, and I've seen some of these live streams that go 3 hours. So we're still under the norm. But thank you for bearing with us if you stayed the whole time.
Yes, again, thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this Director Spotlight, check out the other ones. We had Mel Gibson, Michael Mann. Oh, Jesus. We had Christopher Nolan. The Fairley Brothers for comedy. Again, if you like this, please share it with everybody. Put out the word going, hey, these guys did James Wan, the entire filmography, James Wan. Other than that, guys, look, thank you so much. Thank you for joining in on everyone. Mika, Robert, Ralph, James, David, Jay, Jose, everyone, Jerry that popped up, Evan
Beckish.
that showed up,
Yep.
Becklish. Again, thank you so much. All the Patreons, thank you so much. Enjoy, of course, the outro for everyone out there. Till then, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa, and that is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
be awesome to each other and geek out.